Before we get started to talk about the film, I like to kind of dive with an easy question here. What was your first job in the movie and TV industry?
It was a commercial for Mad Magazine game. There was a game of Mad Magazine, and the board was a game board, and all of the squares were hand drawn by my heroes, the illustrators for Mad Magazine. I'm guessing you read Mad Magazine.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir.
so Mort Drucker did one. Don Martin drew a square. They were all squares, and these were the hand-drawn artists' pictures. These were Mona Lisas, and they were all over the board. And every time they yelled cut, somebody would come and put a sheet over the board because they couldn't get anything dirty, because they were going to film. They were going to take a picture of each picture as the template for the game. And I remember I drank too many Yoo-Hoos that day. You know, they drink Yoo-Hoo, and we had to run around the table during the shoot, you know, make it all zany and everything like that. And I had too many Yoo-Hoos, and I burped throw up. You know, when you do that, when you have the regurgitation. And the whole afternoon, I was scared. Oh God, I'm going to throw up on this game. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. And I was terrified. And that was my first job.
Absolutely. So you play Jack in the upcoming film 18 and a half, which follows the lost tapes of Richard Nixon and, of course, Watergate. What attracted you to this role?
I was offered it, and they were willing to pay me. That's honestly, I had done a movie for Dan. He's a lovely guy. His budgets are limited, so you want to do the man a favor. The script was good. It was unusual. It had a great story. Give him a hand. It only took me 2 days to do it. Why not? And what if it's great? What happens if it's spectacular? Look what I'm involved in. And if it's not, that's 2 days out of my life. I don't, I can live with that. But the character, although not a phenomenal character and nor really a moving force of the script, was quirky. It was weird. He said, I want it a little weird. And so therefore I had an eye patch. I didn't think of the eye patch. It wasn't in the script. He said, do you mind wearing an eye patch? And I remember thinking, why would I mind wearing an eye patch? Well, your vision is weird. You're a little off balance, and it's a little uncomfortable. But I said yes. And who knew? But it was quirky and certainly got the attention of audiences, from what I understand. And it just lends to the weirdness of my character and the weirdness of the movie. So you do that.
I think that's one of the things that when I was looking at your filmography, you've been doing this for quite a while now. What draws you to kind of work with specific directors?
I'm not. That's not true. I will do anything if it's a specifically well-known director. Although I love Dan, and he produced this movie, and his heart goes into it. And that's really important when you're doing independent films, because he's eking out a living. He's eking out a film, a small budget. Let's just try and do this. But I can't say that I chose this movie because of Dan as a director. I chose this movie as Dan as the writer. The script was good. The role was good. Maybe he'll roll the dice and roll an 11 or a 7. It'll be great. It's a crapshoot. It really is. But I don't actually seek out a director. The only reason a director comes into play is because I don't like what they did. Not what I like that they did. If I don't like what they've done before, if I think that they cheapened the product, that they choose a genre that's particularly cheap and it's just pablum. But Dan doesn't make pablum. Dan makes very unusual, singular movies, and I'm hoping that this is one. I haven't seen the movie, but this could be one. It was an interesting subject, so who knows? It could work.
Yeah, it's incredible. I watched the film and it's incredible. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of mystique behind it. There's a lot of mystery. I think each
I'm
character,
glad.
yeah, each character plays a specific part to adding to the story, and I really kind of love the, it's a story that maybe has been told several times. You've seen so many different documentaries and stuff like that, but it was just a unique take on this specific.
Well, those documentaries concentrate on the 18 and a half minutes. Mm-hmm. This one concentrates on a couple and the weirdness of the valley of the roads that they took, having the 18 and a half minutes.
Yeah, I think that's exactly, and that's kind of what is unique about it from these other projects that you've talked about. And of course, speaking of the two leads in this, John Magaro and Willa Fitzgerald, what was it like working with those two?
They were wonderful. And I remember John talking about Saints of New York, and then I was like, I was mesmerized by what he was talking about. And she's great. I remember loving her, and I haven't seen her or talked to her since we filmed it. But she was wonderful, really charming. And then who was the wonderful black actor who played part of the couple?
Vondi Curtis Hall.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh my God, what a career! Oh God! And I was never on set when he was there, and that upset me. So we really had an eclectic cast, very talented young cast, and it was no skin off my back to do it. It was a favor. I will tell you that. A lot of times, if you don't have money, you need favors. And Dan, I did the favor, but it wasn't that big a favor. This is a gift because the movie's pretty good. So, but I will admit, I liked the script, but I did do it as a favor to Dan. So why not?
So as I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, you have over 200 credits to your name between film and TV shows. What keeps you going?
The fact that I wouldn't keep going unless I kept working. I mean, the 3 children necessitate income. But the only thing that necessitates work, especially like work in 18 and a half minutes, which doesn't pay my dog walker, you certainly don't do that for the money, but I do the work because I must sustain myself, and I could not sustain myself without doing what I love to do. And although this is called "What Do You Do for a Living," this is truly what I do to live. I need this to live. So I will take it really has to be something bad if I turn down a job. I love working. I love being on a set. I love the challenge of memorizing lines. And memorizing lines nowadays keeps my brain young. Some people do crossword puzzles. I memorize lines. It's really good for me. So that keeps me going.
So you've worked on films with huge budgets, small budgets, and stuff like that, but we've seen a turn, whether it's the box office and stuff. How important is independent filmmaking?
It's always been important. It always has been. I once heard Bob Costas, I think it was Bob Costas. Could have been Carl Reiner. I know it, but I know the show. No, it was Carl. No, okay, it was Alan Arkin on Bob Costas's show, and he was talking about in the old days, you had what were called B movies, and B movies were sort of the minor league for up-and-coming actors or directors or screenwriters. Humphrey Bogart was certainly part of that, was in the minor leagues at Warner Brothers, got a shot, and became a star. But these types of movies, Robert Aldrich, early Robert Aldrich movies, things like that, were a farming ground, and some of these movies became great. Some of them are great for just being B movies, but they were wonderful, and they were supplied by the studios. The studios go off, leave the world. So what do you have to do? You do independent movies. Marvel movies keep cinema going, as we all know. Makes $1 billion, a studio can stay. Small movies keep actors good. They keep writers working. They train directors. And as an actor, the roles are usually better than what you're going to get in a big budget movie. In a big budget movie, usually it's the technician, the lighting guy, the special effects. They're the ones that really get challenged and everything. And it's not a lot of dialogue. Small movies, they move quickly. You know your lines. Maybe you've even had the luxury of rehearsing. They write it quickly. There's no special effects. Everything that needs to be told has to come from the actor. That's quite something.
I love that. I love that a lot.
I think that they are. And you never know when an independent movie is going to become great and might even become a franchise, or get a young director doing a independent movie and they go, wow, he's got talent. Let's get him for the big budgets. And he might make a great big budget movie and bring a little bit of independent feeling to that big budget movie.
Last question to you, looking back at your career, do you have a performance that stands out to you that you like to, just it's maybe your favorite performance or one of your favorite performances or anything like that?
Yes, but it's not in film, or you could say my favorite role. I have favorite films that I've done. I think that Serious Man is just a magnificence many times over. I think that Inside Out is that character might be my legacy, because I believe it's Jiminy Cricket for millennials. I have favorite performances, but a lot of them are, or favorite pieces, but they're things that people haven't seen. Did you ever see the show Red Oaks?
Yes, I have.
I think Red Oaks is charming and such an antithesis of our times, because it was a story about the 80s in the era of Trump. And I thought it spoke beautifully to today's generation. I thought it was great. I have so many things. The TV show Luck that I did for David Milch is wonderful. Should have had a much longer life. I get into things that have should have had a longer life. I'm lucky because I get bored of doing the same character sometimes. So I got lucky that Luck only lasted a year, but that character was great, and that season I thought was so wonderful. Red Oaks was only 26 episodes over 3 years, but only 20. So I got to do other stuff. That's why my the resume is so long, because I like doing different, not just different things, different genres. So that's what I love to do.